Her blood is still warm on my hands. I hadn't imagined it would end in the greenhouse. But betrayal thrives in places you least expect. It blooms like mold between orchids and secrets. The glass sliced into my skin when she fell through the panel. Now the air stinks of metal and crushed lilac. My suit's soaked through. My breathing is tight, deliberate. But my heart? That thing shut down hours ago, back at the party. They're still outside, yelling, scrambling, trying to make sense of something they'll never understand. They thought they could strip me down to nothing and wear my skin like a trophy. They were wrong. It was my mother's 60th birthday. Crystal chandeliers, champagne flutes, the kind of laughter that feels too polished to be real. Then she gave the toast. Starting now, my $5,500 paycheck, every cent of it, plus all bonuses, would go to the family fund. If I had a problem with it, I shouldn't come back. Just like that. Cold. A royal edict dressed up like a family plan. But this wasn't a war. It was a robbery, one that had been unfolding slowly, methodically. I looked at her, then at my brother, nodding loyally beside her. And finally, I stared into my wine glass, trying to anchor myself. You don't announce life-altering decisions at a party unless you think you're untouchable. I built that fund, I remember whispering. She only smiled at me like I was a kid who didn't understand that fire burns. I stood up, left, and didn't say another word. 3 hours later, my phone lit up with panic. The fund had been emptied. Accounts closed. Money gone, moved overseas. And I was already disappearing. They'd been bleeding me for years. It started subtle, a joint venture, shared investments. Then I started finding my name on documents I didn't remember signing. But you trust your family, right? That's the first mistake. I found shell companies with my brother's name on them. Fake loans charged to my business. They even hijacked the inheritance when Dad died. Right before that cursed party. It wasn't a family. It was an empire built on manipulation, dressed in expensive clothes and fake affection. She said it was for my protection. That I wasn't ready for my own success. But she wasn't protecting anything. She was stealing. I didn't shout. I didn't fight. I vanished. Moved into a tiny place above a butcher's shop and started over in the shadows. Got dirty. Learned. Made connections in places they'd never even drive past. Accountants who used to wash cartel money. Coders who could erase identities. Cleaners, pickers, real mercenaries, not the kind you see in movies. And I listened. Waited. Planned. I mirrored my brother's phone. Watched my mother's accounts. Fed them false reports. Let them believe I was broken and spiraling. Meanwhile, I stripped my name from every company. Rewrote the trust. Bought out silent partners they didn't know existed. By the time they tried to shift the money again, it wasn't theirs anymore. Tonight was the final act. I used AI to copy her voice. Impeccable, flawless. The message summoned everyone to the family home. Urgent meeting. They all came. My brother, his smug wife, mother in her favorite wine-colored wrap. Even the sleazy lawyer who'd drawn up the fund documents. I was already inside. Cameras ready. Watching them parade in like they still owned everything. Mother poured herself a glass of wine. She always said, never decide anything in anger. But I wasn't angry. Not anymore. I was resolved. The lights snapped off. Screams followed. I didn't make a sound. Moved through the dark, efficient, masked. I dragged the lawyer into the study first. Taped him to a chair. Let him watch his own incriminating emails play across the projector. Fraud, lies, manipulation. He started sobbing before I touched him. My brother resisted. Got a punch in. Didn't matter. He ended up on the floor, one arm twisted behind him, crying about forgiveness. You signed me over like cattle, I told him. And then there was her. Still on her feet. Always regal, always in control. You think this will fix anything? She asked. No, I said. But it will balance the scale. She lunged with a knife. I stepped aside. She crashed through the greenhouse door. I followed her. Watched her cough and crawl through glass and soil. You were mine, she whispered. I made you. I crouched beside her. No, I said. You made a choice. And it was the wrong one. Then I showed her the video. Evidence, testimonies, every dirty secret. Live stream to the company board, the press, law enforcement. I let her watch everything burn. The police arrived 20 minutes after I called. I was waiting on the lawn, bloodied but composed, a thumb drive sitting in my lap. They asked if I needed a lawyer. No, I replied. I'm the one they stole from. And technically, I never laid a hand on anyone. Not in any way the law can prove. Every move was calculated. Precise. I didn't walk away feeling righteous. This wasn't revenge dressed as justice. I walked away with my freedom. Sometimes justice doesn't roar. Sometimes it's a quiet breath in a still room. A truth that slices deeper than any blade. My mother once said, family is forever. And in a way, she was right.